Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming. My name is Maddie Huber.
And I'm Kelly Matthews.
And we're the senior captains on the women's volleyball team. The motto of the athletic department at Princeton is education through athletics. Therefore, we wanted to dedicate this speech to showing how Princeton Volley has given us unique education through athletics. I personally would like to talk about how Princeton Volleyball has given me education in the area of economics. We currently have no econ majors on the team, except for maybe Lauren, Megan's proud girl. And the only econ class I took was freshman year, and ever since I've stayed far away. However, Princeton Volley, as I'm about to tell you, has been its own class in economics.
I would like to talk about how Princeton Volleyball has taught me a lot about math. The last official math class I took was 4 years ago in high school, so thankfully, before I head into the real world, Princeton Volleyball has filled that gap for me.
Freshman year, myself and the rest of our class learned a lot about the econ term fluctuation. Freshman year, you were constantly fluctuating, from being excited and happy to homesick and nervous, from being pumped to turning your paper to getting your comments back, from eagerly giving your number to every freshman you meet to realizing they probably will never text you. It is a whirlwind. Luckily, Princeton Volley takes you in, and you are instantly provided with a new family. Not only do we have our team, but we also have the guys team, with whom we do numerous unforgettable traditions. No matter how up and down you feel on any given day, you can always count on the stable presence of our larger family.
When I was a freshman, I learned about the transitive property. We were playing at a preseason tournament, and one of the seniors said that by the transitive property, we could beat Penn State. That was maybe the last thing I expected to hear during a warm-up for a game. First of all, why would we be talking about the transitive property? Maybe that's just how we do it at Princeton. And also, I never expected to hear beat Penn State. It turns out that the transitive property states that if A is greater than B, and B is greater than C, then A is also greater than C. So if this team was greater than Penn State and we were greater than this team, then we would be greater than Penn State by one set. I'm sure all the engineers in here can correct me if that's wrong, but that seems like pretty solid math. I don't actually remember if we ended up beating that team and by the transitive property one set against Penn State. But I do remember, and this actually happened, a surprisingly intellectual discussion during the break in our warm-up about the scenarios and probabilities in which we could beat other top-tier teams by the transitive property.
Sophomore year, I really gained an understanding of a sunk cost, which is a cost that has already been incurred and cannot be removed. We started off that Ivy season 0-3. I distinctly remember sitting in the Dartmouth locker room after our third loss of the season, and the mood was pretty grim. Pretty much no one thought we would be able to come back after losing the first 3 games. But Soph told us we had to play out the rest of the season with no regrets. Who knew what was going to happen? Lo and behold, we put those 3 losses behind us, and we went on to win Ivy Championship.
When I was a sophomore, I really mastered the scalene triangle. For those of us who may not be familiar, a scalene triangle is one with no congruent sides, meaning that all the sides are different lengths. This is what I look like when I'm sleeping in weird and contorted positions on the bus rides to and from away games. My teammates have really mastered other shapes, mainly irregular polygons. But aside from all the sleeping, bus rides are one of my favorite Princeton volleyball memories. We're fortunate to have Lou, our amazing bus driver, who's an integral part of the team around the team and one of our biggest sideline cheerers. Bus rides are an escape from the orange bubble, a time when our team plays lots of competitive games, uses the time to catch up on each other's lives, and gets amped for huge matches against our rival schools.
Last year, I really gained an understanding of marginal benefit. There was a point last year on one of our long bus rides, lots of scaling triangles to be seen, and we had just finished the Lizzie McGuire movie, an ultimate classic. But I'm not so sure if Tyler thought so. And ever since the Lizzie McGuire movie, Tyler has somehow claimed the right to veto any movie. Tyler did not seem to see the marginal benefit of yet another rom-com teen pop movie. And now we're pushed to have our movies be a little bit more substantial. We even had acceptable movie genres covered in our first team meeting of the season. Even though we may not realize it, our coaches are constantly finding ways to push us to be better people on and off the court.
When I was a junior, I began to conceptualize permutations and iterations, which are a few of Sal's favorite words. A permutation is one of several possible variations in which things can be ordered. At practice, we tend to do many different permutations of lineups and formations and drills. An iteration is the repetition of a process. I experienced that each iteration of Princeton volley, one for each of my 4 years here, only got better over time as I grew into a better player, teammate, and person through the support of my Princeton volley family.
Senior year already, I can say I've mastered the concept of surplus. This year, we've been lucky enough to receive a brand new team locker room, laundry done for us every single day, tons of amazing gear, and snacks for practices and games. To other sports teams on campus, these may seem like standard things, but to us, it feels like we are getting the royal treatment. And most importantly, in the past 2 years, our team has welcomed not 1, not 2, but 3 fresh new babies. I don't know how many teams can boast that. Princeton Volley has given me so much more than I ever could have hoped for. Looking back on the years now, I especially realize everything this program has given me. So thank you for the surplus of everything great I've received.
As a senior, I've come to understand the definition of absolute value. In math, the absolute value of a number is a magnitude without regard to its sign. For example, the absolute value of -6 is 6. And for all the joy of playing at the Division I level, there are difficult moments. In my experience as a player, a loss is devastating. A rough practice can bring down my whole day. But any moment as a member of Princeton volleyball can only be measured in absolute value. Every win, every loss, every early morning lift, every preseason double day, every time I've succeeded or failed, and every Ivy League championship has been of the utmost value to me. I've learned so much from my coaches, from the incredible team around the team, and most of all, from my amazing teammates who are also my best friends. I can't think of another volleyball program in the NCAA that is simultaneously so educational, so fun, and so valuable. But all cheesiness aside, we couldn't be more grateful for this program and everyone who makes it possible. And to the freshmen, I hope you savor every moment because your time here is going to fly by. Thank you.
So how's everybody doing? I'm Junior Oko, like Coach said. I'm a senior on the team. So I've been a part of Princeton volleyball for a large part of my life. And I can truly say that I will be forever grateful for being able to be part of this truly special program. Coming into Princeton, I did not know what to expect. Princeton was a different space from what I was used to. But I was lucky to be surrounded by a coaching staff and teammates that not only cared about my performance on the court, but also my personal well-being off of it. In Princeton, I'm really big on acronyms, so it's only fitting I do one for Princeton Volley. The P in Princeton Volley stands for pride. Pride in our rich history. Hailing from guys showing up to games in Lakers jerseys, Glenn having a cold one with recruits, and the Vanderbilt, of which I got to be a part of this summer in Long Beach. R is for respect. Respect that Coach Spicy tries to teach us for people big and small. Best shown through our team around the team concept. I is for individuality. Come as you are. We are an accepting group. Best shown through our policy of accepting anyone on the team with 2 feet and is eager to learn how to play game volleyball. And as for nicknames, I'm the closer, was head of the social media department, and like everyone has a bunch of nicknames. So, C's for Chili's. We're gonna go to Chili's a lot, freshmen. And we're currently working on getting Chili's to our corporate sponsor, so that's E is for education. Princeton's motto is education through athletics. And as a member of Princeton Volley, you'll learn a lot of important life skills off of the court, under the direction of our coaching staff. T is for tradition, like Maggie said, from Volley Jolly to the Mother's Day tournament, and also memorizing all the lines of Big Lebowski, which I have memorized. O for orange. You're going to get a lot of orange clothes, but always remember, never wear an orange shirt, shorts, and shoes. N is for niche. As a member of Princeton Volley, you'll find a position on the team, for example, as a social media czar or the food czar, that fits your personality. V is for victory. The goal is to win on the court, but Coach Wesley truly instills in us as growing young men qualities that will make us victorious in our years after Princeton. O is for organization. Our organization structure is unlike any other. It's very unique. We're two teams, we're essentially one team. L is for leadership. We're truly blessed with coaches that stress the importance of staying your mind regardless of your place in the social ladder. Being part of Princeton Volley teaches you how to be a leader. L is for love. You know, as a man, it's hard for men to show emotion, and I truly want to stand up here and say I love everyone sitting in the room today. E is for eternity. You will be forever part of this Princeton Volleyball family. And Y is for you. I cannot stress enough how important this is. As a freshman in Princeton, there are times where I grappled with changing my personal identity in order to become more socially acceptable. But being part of Princeton Volleyball, I cannot stress how important it is to be yourself. Princeton Volleyball is about the different personalities that have played a unique role in shaping our unique identity. For freshmen that are about to embark on this journey, it will not be an easy one. Your times at Princeton will have its highs and lows. There will be times where after a tough practice, you question why you're putting yourself through this. Because I hate to break it to you boys, it won't be a long season. But there's beauty in the struggle. 20 years from now, when you're sitting behind some decks calling the shots, you'll reminisce about those 5-hour bus rides during the 3-game winning streak and the name game that happened. You remember that ride in Nicaragua in the back of a pickup truck in the pouring rain where you almost died. You'll remember winning Maverick of the Month, beating Penn State at home, and winning an EIBA championship. When you look back at your Princeton career, these are some of the most important things you'll remember. But most importantly, you'll remember you're part of a brotherhood, a family. I thank you all for embracing me into this family.
Yeah, so Coach called me out a little bit on the speech here. But you see, it's hard to give a speech following 3 Princeton students because we're so thorough. They cover absolutely everything. So I'm unfortunately going to repeat some things, and I'm given the unfortunate position of closing for the closer. So we'll go with this as it is. You know, it's kind of a unique situation having this banquet at the beginning of the year because you're able to talk to freshmen, underclassmen, and give some advice. And that's some of my experience my 3 years here. You know, seniors like Will Soroki, Cody Kessel, Tony Edsberry, if you know him, they pass down words of wisdom in different ways. And so, you know, one thing that they talked about this year in the athletic department, it's a big thing that all the volleyball players I'm sure know, is it's be a tiger. And A tiger is an acronym, like junior talk, love acronyms here. And the G, grateful, kind of really stood out to me. And that's one thing if I were to stress to myself as a freshman, I really would have kind of pushed that a bit more in so many different facets. First off, you know, the people around us is pretty obvious. Everyone here has mentioned how much they're grateful for the people around us, and it's really, really true. You know, we have an amazing coaching staff, and you may not always agree with their decisions. You may, you know, sometimes get frustrated or annoyed with your play or how they're deciding things. And one, I can tell you they're just as frustrated, if not more, than you. But they really care about you. They care about the program and you individually more than you could ever imagine. And that's something to be grateful that you have coaches to do that, because not every program has coaches that are that invested, especially our assistant coaches. You know, they give a lot to be here, and a big part of it is how much they love what they do. And so that's something I'd say you have to be grateful for. In addition, we have the team around the team. You know, Nikki, Johnny, Lou, our academic fellows, everyone. And even all the way up to the administration. You know, we have a unique connection that, again, is special for Princeton University. Some of us are here because of favors that previous guys have gotten from the administration to get more light players to get into the program. You know, like they talked about, laundry is something that most other teams have that we just got, and, well, the men's team is still waiting on. We're gonna get in the spring. And it's great. You know, when I was a freshman, we were cleaning bleachers to make money for the program. And we've come a long way, again, to the coaches, the administration, and all of you here. So it's a big thing to be able to be grateful for that and realize that people behind you had this great tradition, but didn't have all the amenities that you have today. Possibly most importantly, I'm grateful for, you know, all my teammates and friends of both the men's and women's team. I'm very fortunate to have a class of every single guy in my grade I can say is one of my best friends that I'll have for life. And that's, again, something very special. I share a bond with each of them and the stories and things that we've gone through. And then again, in addition to the women's team and all the fun we have together and all the parties and the events and the tournaments and wearing weird costumes while going bowling, it's a unique connection and I'm grateful for that. And then our families and our parents in particular. You know, volleyball is a unique sport where you kind of have to play club to break into the Division I level. And so driving us to tournaments, to practices, paying for being on those club teams, which was not cheap, getting us to this level is something that is important. And while you're here too, they give you an unconditional level of support and love that is needed at a place like Princeton. It's a hard place to get through sometimes. And your parents are something that is always there for you and something that don't be afraid to lean on and to ask for help for. And then, besides just the people, there's kind of like the program and the spirit of Princeton volleyball. You know, like I said, it's a great group, it's a great program, but it's hard to feel like you're at a Division I program and every year you're either winning championships or a game or two away from winning a championship. Well, you're also at the #1 university in the world if U.S. News and World Report is to be trusted for the last 7 years. You know, I chose Princeton because it had such a great balance of academic, social life, and great competitive volleyball. And again, I think that's something that you can really only get here at Princeton. And it's something, again, that, you know, you just have to believe and embrace every day when you wake up. And no matter when it's tough, because you will go through tough times, and you'll have bad practices, you get bad grades, and you'll question if, you know, you even should be here at all. Just remind yourself, you are at one of the toughest places in the world. You have tons of people around you that care about you. And you have the Princeton volleyball family, which will be there forever. So things get tough, but you have so many things to be grateful for. And that's the one thing that I would say makes Princeton volleyball special, and what I would encourage all of you to do every single day.